All right. So we're here today at the Fairview Social Podcast doing a post during Jack graduation party podcast. Mm-hmm. And today my guest is Kimi, who unfortunately you all know.
Returning.
Per
popular demand.
I don't know about that. We've kind of been hyping you up, but I don't know that it's really the truth.
Yeah.
And then we also have Katlin.
Mm-hmm.
Katlin, you have to speak.
Hello.
Hello. So the reason I have both of you here is because you're both my sister-in-laws. Mm-hmm. Kimi is Nikki's sister, mm-hmm. and Katlin is Joseph's wife. So y'all are both my sister-in-laws, and I think that you both equally hate me. Mm. But maybe you don't hate me. But I feel like you do hate me.
Well, I don't know that hate is the right word. It's fine. My voice is loud. It's fine. You
got to get a little bit closer.
I hear it. It's loud.
You do hear it, but it doesn't transfer over.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
I wouldn't say hate. I would say we are probably aggressively critical.
That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. I hadn't heard that before. Aggressively critical.
Mm-hmm. It's constructive criticism.
Okay.
We just want you to be better. We think you can do better.
Okay. Would you like to make any comments about my beard this evening?
Yeah, it looks really frizzy today. Extra frizzy.
Well, Katlin, what do you think? Does it look too frizzy?
I think it's the humidity.
Don't give him excuses. He's ungroomed.
Well, she hasn't been on here before. You're a little bit adjusted to it, so she's going to kind of be nice.
Oh, yeah.
But I know deep in your heart that you feel the same. But of course, you're also dealing with Joseph, who his beard is. Let's see if we can.
It has some opportunities.
Opportunities for growth.
Opportunities for improvement.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think?
I like his beard. I've always felt you are slightly more unkempt.
Oh.
Me? Oh. More unkempt than Joseph?
I think scraggly comes to mind.
I feel like Joseph should be in for the video comparison.
Kimmy's like...
It's interesting because I'm like, they're pretty similar to me.
Kimmy's like, did we just become best friends?
Right.
So Kimi bought me this beard...
straightener.
Uh-huh. She's like, just use this. But look, I'm going to tell you something. Here's my routine. I get up in the morning. Uh-huh. I get in the shower. I wash my face and my beard with the same Irish Spring soap.
That's probably your first problem.
I don't condition it or do anything like that.
Problem number 2.
On Saturdays, with the exception of yesterday, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put some like conditioner type beard shampoo in there. Mm-hmm. I didn't do that yesterday. Mm. And so I try to make it like maybe if I do it once a week that it means something, but apparently it does not.
No.
So I think what's happening is it is a little frizzy, and I think it is because it's humid, but it's more like it's reaching out
for help.
That is true.
It's just crying for moisture.
It needs moisturizer. It needs love. It needs something.
It does, but
it looks like you just go like this and.
Well, I did like even earlier before people came over. Nikki's like, yeah, at 2:00, Jack and Zephyr's friends are coming over, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't know that there was going to be like other people than normal here. So I like went in the bathroom and I like took my comb and I combed it. As Kimi laughs about I combed it.
Okay.
It's like, you know what? No one said shit about when Chris Cavey was in here and he had a magnificent beard.
He's frightening.
frightening.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would say anything to him. But he has a nice beard, though.
But okay, so what's wrong with mine?
Well, his looks more controlled than yours does.
His is. He even told me that his was less controlled.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe it's your fluffiness that pushes it out.
You know what? This might be the worst two guests that I've ever had in my life here.
Well, let's change the subject. Let's not talk about your beard.
All right.
You're so sensitive.
What do you want to talk about? I'm so sensitive.
Yes.
Okay.
That's another reason. You know, at the last time I was here, you asked me, why am I so awful? I think
I do want to know why you're so awful.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm direct and people are sensitive. And that's why they feel like I'm awful.
And that might be true.
I feel like people just get all up in their feelings and can't take a little constructive criticism. I'm just honest.
Okay. Well, what do you, ma'am, what would you like to talk about today?
Oh, I don't know. I just came over to celebrate my nephew graduating high school.
Okay, well, I'll talk about that for a second. So
let's do it. Oh, you have completed the chapter that I completed 2 years ago.
So, for those of you listening, and I think I mentioned this the other day, that Jack graduated high school a couple days ago. This is his graduation party. He is, and here we are doing this.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't care.
Yes, that is true. He does not care. So we're having his graduation party. But for me, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Because I know that for you, it was a big deal.
Huge, yes.
That Eli graduated high school, and it was a little rocky.
Mm-hmm. Jenna, too, because they graduated together.
I didn't think that Eli was going to graduate.
It was kind of touch and go with Jenna also. So, for people that don't know, we each have 3 kids, and they're all very similar in ages. I have 3 girls. You and Nikki have 3 boys, and our oldest were born 3 days apart, so they've basically grown up together.
That's true.
They went through school together. They have graduated together, and both have given us challenges in different ways.
Yes.
My daughter has challenged me differently than your son has challenged you. But yeah, they were both kind of like, they were absolutely smart enough and talented enough to get through it. But man, did they test us. And they really made us kind of sweat it out a little bit. But both did it beautifully.
They did. And so Eli graduated, and then Hayden graduated.
Mm-hmm. Same year as Daphne, my second.
Which Hayden graduated a year early.
Right. So he finished high school in 3 years, and him and Daphne graduated together. And that was awesome. I didn't really have a lot of stress with Daphne's schooling. Like, you know, she had her own personal struggles, but it wasn't the same as what we had dealt with before. And she wasn't really as worried about her graduating. And just really excited for Hayden to be able to do that early for his next chapter in life and all that stuff. And then 2 years ago, my youngest daughter graduated high school, and I was elated. I was so happy and thrilled about completing this huge chapter in my life because mainly I was a single parent for the majority of their lives. And I just felt this sense of freedom, this like, this big breath of fresh air I could finally breathe because I was no longer, they had gotten to adulthood. I was no longer responsible for making sure they get to bed on time, making sure they get to school every day, making sure they got their homework done or they followed up on whatever, projects they needed to do. It no longer felt on my shoulders. Now they're adults, and whatever decisions they make from this point on, I'll be there with them. I'll still worry about them, and I'll still support them. But the choices and everything's kind of on them. If they choose to go college path, great. If they choose to go work path, great. If they want to do both, fantastic, whatever. But it was just a huge weight off of my shoulders that I got all my kids through high school, and now we can move on to the next chapter. And the stress had just lessened. And I got through that, and I was so excited. Most people were tearful and, joyfully tearful. at their kids' graduations. But when Lily graduated, I was just ecstatic. I was just so happy. And now that was 2 years ago. And now I'm excited for you and for Nikki to be going through that chapter.
I feel kind of bad because, like, there's so many parents at the graduation the other day that were just, like, crying and really upset. Mm-hmm. And I think we've established at the Fairview Social that I have no feelings.
My kids say the same about me, but they're in there.
Well, that's true. I think that's why we have a lot in common. Mm-hmm. That maybe I should be more emotional about it, but I think more than anything for me, for Jack, and for Hayden and for Eli, when this moment happened for them, I was more just happy for them that it's like, yes, you will miss all the times and all the things, but like it's literally just a blip in your life.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, it is.
It's not anything. So,
but they don't comprehend that right now. Like I didn't comprehend that when I was
I know
their age, but they will.
So what I wanted to talk to Katlin about is when me and Joseph and Hayden had a podcast a couple days ago, I told everybody that it's so much harder to be a step parent than a parent. Because like I didn't know what my boundaries were with Eli, and I didn't know what I was doing with Eli, and obviously like Eli became my son a couple years into the marriage, and it did not matter because he was so young. But you came into the picture for Sam and Ollie. Well, Ollie was really young, but Sam was a little bit older, and this may be uncomfortable because Sam is sitting right behind you. And I know that they're not graduating right now, but I think that it is important for people to understand that, like, me and you have a bond that maybe you don't know that we have a bond of, like, step parenting, because we've been there and we've done it, and you haven't experienced, and Joseph hasn't experienced it, and Nikki hasn't experienced it. But there's something to be said about a person that would be willing to come into a person's life and then accept their children as their own, to marry an idiot like my brother, and then to take on understanding that, like, it's not just like, I'm going to be a parent, a parent that is not involved. Well, you're a parent, whether you want to be one or not.
It was interesting. It was, like you said, it was trying to find the boundaries of where you can fit in and where you step in and where you just kind of let the two parents be the parents, and whether or not, there was what kind of relationship they have, they're still parents.
So tell me what that's like with you. And I know that we're talking about graduation and all that, and actually Sam is getting pretty close to it, but how's that been for you?
And they're still the two parents of these kids. And
did you ever feel like there's like, well, they're working things out, so I don't have a voice? And because I used to feel like that. And yours is a little bit more difficult, because for me, it's like Eli's dad was not present, not available, and so I'm just kind of hearing things through the grapevine. But like, you're having to literally, manage this relationship and the relationship with the kids while dealing with the mom who's not a part of your life personally. Like, how'd that work out for you?
For me, it was just taking a step back and finding that spot. It wasn't really as obvious as it is now where that place was, especially when they were still young, still really needed their mom and wanted their mom around. And they just weren't at a place where I had a function.
Mm-hmm.
They had a family setup that worked for them, and I wasn't needed, so I had to find a place where, okay, well, if I'm not needed, then how can I be wanted? And as they're getting older, that's easier to find. It's a lot more obvious because they have their own personalities now, and they have the things that they like and the things that they want, and it's a little bit more obvious.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's going to say, I think I said this last time that, like, having the kids older, I would be a better father when the kids are older. And Joseph probably thinks the same thing because, like, you can relate to him more and do all that. But, like, for Kimi, the kids are growing up, the father's not present a lot of the time, and you're having to be, like, mother and father and deal with that. And then you have a situation where you come into the picture. It's like, it's very uncomfortable. It's like, well, Sam's sitting right here behind you. Sam, come here. I know that Frank is,
Scooch on up here. Let me move this out of your way.
Here, come over here, closer to Katlin. And you can lie if you want, but how do you feel about Katlin coming into your life and doing all the things?
Well, honestly, at first it was really weird. For not just me, but for all of you, it kind of felt like the first 3 years was like having a babysitter around. But over time, she kind of grew on both of us, and now we treat her more like family than we do a babysitter. Did you feel like she was like a well, my dad is just with this girl here, and maybe it'll pass? And then did it happen to come up like, okay, well, over time we've grown to be attached to her? Was it like that, or? Honestly, not really. Like, I didn't really grow like that, but it came to a point where I noticed that things would happen around the house, and she wouldn't say she did them, but as I grew older, I realized she did these things for us, and we never thanked her. That was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That was a good answer.
That was an acceptable answer. That's pretty good, Sam.
Yeah.
And I know we still don't treat her like we should. We don't give her the like appreciation we should. And I know me and him both need to get better at that.
Well, that's all kids.
Yeah.
That's all kids with parents, I think.
Yeah, but
you appreciate them when you look back and you were like, "Oh man, they did."
I was going to say, and he's 15, and so he's recognizing it, which it did take a while, but at least it's happening.
When they got older,
yeah.
I didn't say how long that was.
Right.
Yeah. And I know we still need to get better at it. And for me personally, I know I'm getting better. If I might be slowly, but I'm getting better at it. Oliver still has moments where he's very not appreciative, and he doesn't have a filter when he does stuff like that.
How old is he?
He's 11.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah. So,
He's going through a lot of things. He's going to be testing all the boundaries.
Well, I was going to say, too, it's like, like I said, there's some parallels and then some that aren't. And that's what I was trying to get across. And when we were doing the podcast with Joseph and Hayden, that for Katlin, it's like a whole world of shit just coming down on you, and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Eli was young, so it's like I could just grow into be his father and take that place. But like, she's trying to, it's like she loves Joseph, and she's accepted that like Sam and Ollie are going to be her kids. She's going to be the stepmom to them and wants to love them and do all the things, which I'm assuming that's true because you did commit your life to Joseph. But then to like actually just to see it play out, it's like, that's hard. Sam, you're okay. You're a decent young man. Not thanks to your father.
He just wants to make sure you heard it.
Oh, I heard it.
Give your headphones back to Katlin.
30 minutes ago, my dad called me an a-hole.
Oh, okay.
I mean, just because you're an all right kid doesn't mean you're not an asshole. So I'm just saying. All right, so there's that. There you go. There's those things. Kimmy, for you, because your kids have turned out good.
They've turned out just fine. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's probably the same as me. It's in the eye of the beholder.
Mm-hmm. They've turned out fine. They're doing well. All of them are doing well, and I'm extremely proud of all of them. And I'm really proud of the fact that I did that. My family and I have done that, because I definitely don't claim sole responsibility. I definitely could not have done it without our family, which, is like the most important thing. But no, I didn't. I never had a step parent for my children. I don't have the energy to even entertain that idea. And, thankfully, by the time that ever enters my life, my kids won't need, that same role.
Can I make an announcement right now?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Are you pregnant?
Although I may look at Katlin, I am not pregnant. But I would like to make an announcement that I'm going to actively...
No, you're not. You can stop right there. You can stop.
I'm going to find Kimmy a man.
No, you're not. I knew where that was going. No, thank you. I'm not interested.
I think that you are
I
interested.
think I'm not. I'm really not. I don't have the time.
You know what? Well, let's pretend that Sam's not here for a second.
I'm a grandma now. I don't have the time.
You are. You're old. You're old AF.
Old AF.
Although she's like, what is it?
We're the same age.
3 or 4 months younger than me.
You're older than me, technically.
But I do think that we need to find you a man.
No.
You do. Look.
I don't need a relationship to make me whole. I'm whole by myself.
You're whole by yourself.
I'm having the best time.
But we are meant to have a partner.
Well, I did one time and I screwed up and it wasn't good.
Whatever.
I got 3 beautiful daughters out of it, and now eventually, like maybe when I'm older, I might be interested. I'm just not interested right now.
Come on. Katlin, what do you think? She needs a man.
I don't think anybody needs a man.
Thank you.
Okay, let's rewind this. She would like to have a man.
I feel like if I would like to have one, I would say I would like to have one. I feel like I could speak my own opinions.
No, I'm giving you your opinion. You need a man.
No, thanks. Thanks.
All right. Well, you're the
I
worst.
appreciate your care and concern for me.
I don't have care and concern. Actually, I hate you.
Oh, okay.
I hate you more than anything in the world.
Anything in the world, yeah.
I know. I'm getting too predictable. If you know that.
You've said that a time or two, or 20,000
That's true.
in the 22 years.
Well, maybe it's because I do care about you.
Yeah.
And I want you to be taken care of.
I'm your favorite person,
You
basically.
You know what? You heard it
You
here
have a
first.
T-shirt that proves it.
You heard it here first on the Fairview Social Podcast that I do care about Kimmy, and that I love her, and that I want her to be happy.
I am happy.
You're not happy. you got to have a man to be.
No, nobody needs another person to be happy. Nobody needs anybody else in this world to be happy. If you're not happy by yourself, then you're missing something.
What do you think?
You have to be comfortable and happy with yourself before you can bring another person into that world.
Okay. Well, then it sounds to me like for the past 15 years that you've just been unhappy with yourself.
No, I'm happy with myself, and I like to keep it that way.
Okay. What do you think?
Oh, I'm content to be married.
Caitlin's smart because she's like, I don't want to get in the middle of this
Yeah,
bullshit.
yeah. It's a trap. It's a total trap.
It is a trap. But whatever. You know what?
You do seem, I think you want me to have another distraction so I don't give you as much crap. I think that's what it is.
That could be true. As I and like,
You're like, can you find something else to do with your time?
gears are processing. But look, that may be true. But I do think that you need a man.
Okay.
And I think that you need a man so that you're less bitchy.
Good luck.
No, that's true.
Good luck. I feel like I've been this way. There are photographs of me as a tiny child, probably preschool age, maybe 3, 4, 5. The face has never changed.
Yeah, no,
I'm
you're a fucking
bitchy
asshole.
from
You've been like
start
this.
to finish. I've been like this my whole life.
Look, I've known you for almost a quarter of a century, and you've been an asshole
The whole time.
the whole time.
And you're welcome. I'm telling you, this is a good conditioning. It really helps build your character.
I think it's time to change.
The strong survive this relationship.
All right. So we're going to wrap up this segment here because I hate Kimi. I tried to give Katlin some kudos because it's hard to be a step parent.
Yeah.
She hates me. I got 2 sister-in-laws here in front of me. They both hate me.
Yeah,
Most days.
you could be better.
Most days. Caitlin says most days.
Yeah. You have good days, good moments.
I have every moment is a good moment.
To you, maybe.
We have a good time.
Somebody does.
You're entertaining
From time to
to
time.
make fun of. Mm-hmm.
You know what? I don't know why I do this to
I don't know
myself.
why you do this either. You literally asked for this.
All right. Goodbye to both of you.
Okay, goodbye.
I hate you both. All right. So we're back to part 2 of this. And what I was saying a second ago is I like that everybody likes to tell me who I need to have on my podcast
It's our podcast
It's ours
now.
now.
and how what I'm doing is not right or any of these things. And so I had this situation, was it last night?
I don't know. I wasn't here.
I don't know what you did last night.
It was you. It was you that said, oh, you need to have this person and that person, and we're just going to do this thing.
Who? What?
Well,
That was not me.
you motherfuckers can get on your own podcast what you want to do. Anyway, so we're back with, unfortunately, Kimi,
You're welcome.
Jeems.
You're
and
welcome.
Colleen's actually here, but she's going to pretend like she's not. But
Hey, Colleen.
But I will get her over into the podcast because I'm sure that she'll have something good to say. So, some of the fans of the pod, of the 3 to 7 followers that are listening, have wanted you 2 on together.
Yay.
Yes, we're the best.
We are the best.
No, you're both awful, both of you.
Awfully good.
No. And so,
What does he know?
We're like the 2 favorites.
We
of
really
everybody.
are. Of everybody.
you're not, but we were talking a little bit about Jack graduating.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about for me and Jeems, like, it's like, that's it for us. And you got to experience a couple of years ago for your kids. So, let's talk about that.
We just talked about it.
Well, I do have a funny story from
Okay.
graduation on Friday night.
Oh, fun.
So I told Mom, I was like, Mom, this is it. This is the last of the grandkids.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, no, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
She's like, what about Becky's kids? What about Trent and Trinity's kids? I was like, oh, well, they're all so much younger. It makes
They're
it
so
seem
far
like
behind.
they're a different generation. But this is the last of the older grandkids. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot there were other grandkids besides mine and Kimmy's, which are like the best.
But Colleen got to deal with this years ago.
Yeah.
You want to talk on that, Colleen? No. When did
Adjusting, I can tell you that.
yes, it's almost like a pre-empty nest.
Mm-hmm.
Except for we won't actually experience empty nest for a very long time because both of us have kids who are going to stay living with us for a little bit.
At least I hope so.
Well,
I don't want mine to leave. I want to always have a space for my kids to be. I like a little distance from time to time. Different kids needs different amount of distance and different amounts of time.
True.
But I always I always want them around.
Well, you love them.
Well, yeah, of course.
Well, I want
I
my
don't
ki-
have to say it. They just should know.
Right.
I want my
You should
kids.
never show your love. It should be just understood without showing or saying.
I want my kids around too, and it'd be different if we didn't have the space. But I don't know.
I do like having, some time away, but not much. I don't like to have a lot of time away. Just some is good. But, I definitely want my kids within reach, which is selfish. It's my own selfish need. I want a compound and I want them to live on my compound, each different distances from my house, but just within a space.
Well, it sounds like codependency to me.
It could be.
It sounds like you can't let go, Kimmy.
I can, and I do.
It doesn't sound like it.
It would just be nice to have them near.
Kimmy, it doesn't sound like it to me. It sounds to me like, because as we discussed before, you don't have a man.
No, I don't.
And you don't want to have a man.
Correct.
So you want to have that gap filled in by your children.
No, not necessarily.
But your children want to leave.
No,
and wanna go-
I don't know. They don't.
Actually, they may want to leave, but some don't want to go as far as others.
If they were smart, they'd want to leave
Probably.
as far away from you as possible.
But now with the grandbaby, I need her to be near me.
No, you're pretty awful.
No.
I don't think that
For
I.
wanting her grandbaby near her? Or are
No.
you just saying Kimmy's awful in general?
Yeah, she's
think
awful in
that's what
general.
it is. Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, the grandbaby doesn't know any better. She just wants to exist.
No, and it's time to train the next generation.
Unfortunately-
Like, I need her to be brought up correct.
Unfortunately, you are that child's grandmother.
I know. She's so lucky.
No, not at all. See, even Colleen.
No, she's so fortunate.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
That girl is surrounded by the best love.
Whatever. Anyway, Jeems.
Just because you don't understand love doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
That's right.
That's true.
Preach.
I don't understand love. I don't understand.
You don't understand our love.
I don't understand. Let me tell you what I don't understand. I don't understand.
I don't think we have time for all that you don't understand. Let's just keep it to
Let me give you graduation non-understandings.
okay.
I don't understand being emotional about
Graduation?
Jack graduating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, I'm in the same boat. I didn't cry when any
I
of the
didn't
kids
cry.
graduated.
I didn't
It was
cry.
not emotional for me.
It was a different type of emotion. I mean, joyous emotion. Like,
Well, I was going to say, it's
happy.
joyous for me because I'm happy that I put myself in Jack's shoes or Hayden or Eli or anybody and thinking they get to experience the moment of graduation, which is awesome because it's like something that they did and that they got that, like, hey, I accomplished this. I went
Right.
through 12 or 13 years of school and I got to this point. But then when you turn the switch and it becomes tomorrow, you're in the fucking real world. You know, you're in the world. You can go to college and prolong it. And I've said this on this pod, as the kids would say.
As only Tim Hollis says.
Only Tim Hollis says it. He's trying to get it to catch.
It's not going to catch.
Keep going.
As the kids would say, the pod, I've said, if you go to college, that's great. Do you need college? Absolutely not. If you want to go to college to be a nurse or a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, absolutely. But if you're doing a trade or if you want to do welding or you want to be a landscaper and you want to be any of these things, which you can make a lot of money doing these trades.
Or if you don't know what you want to do.
Yes. Or if you don't know what you want to do. But I just get really aggravated that we put this pressure on these kids to when they're, I mean, shit, they start thinking about this when they're juniors.
Oh, way before that.
Sophomores
I remember because I used to be one of those parents that would put pressure on my kids because I told them school comes first. School comes first before anything. And then when they were getting older and they wanted to start working, to have a job on the side, I would only consider it if they would hold up their grades and not, miss school and all those things. And I just didn't trust that they could have the attention that they needed on school to also maintain a job. And so I was like, you know what? You don't need to work right now. You need to focus on school. And I was like, as soon as you're done with high school, you're going to college. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I was one of those parents. And then as I got older, I was like, you know what? I didn't know what I was supposed to do when I got out of high school. I didn't go to college until years after I got out of high school. And then I went through college as an adult and graduated and, handled that. But if I would have gone to college straight out of high school, I would have been wasting my time in a completely different career path and I actually was one of those I saw on your podcast where you said nobody wants to be an accountant. I did.
I did too.
I wanted to play with numbers.
I was going to pull that. I was going to tell him that on the podcast, but he kept on talking. And so then it was like past the moment.
Also, you wanted to be a nun way younger than 13.
No, it was all the way up until I was 18 or 13. Yeah, it was like from 5 years old.
Yes.
All the way to
it was 13. Kindergarten.
I was serious about it.
You were serious,
but then, I wanted to play with numbers. I wanted
to be an accountant, and then I was like,
talked about this. This is like why we're like twins.
I know, we're basically twins.
But,
yeah, so anyways, I was one of those parents, and then when they got to high school, and it was challenging for many different reasons, I was like, you know what? I didn't know what I wanted to be. And I was like, just, you know what? Figure it out. You don't have to rush off to college. You need to figure out who you are as a person. You need to figure out how you operate in world situations, real life things, and then see where your interest gets drawn. And they've all been extremely different. They've all been drawn in so many different areas. It's been really cool and interesting to watch them.
Can I just say what you just said was very wisdomous?
Well,
I mean, you're welcome.
I know.
Well, the thing is like I posted a couple clips about because I've said this for years that like you don't need college to have a significant career.
No, not necessarily.
I mean, if you want to do, certain things, yes, you need to go to college to get the training and education that you need to do that. But you can make a living on some kind of trade. Mm-hmm. And I use myself as the example because, like, I have not gone to college and I have not gotten a degree, and I have provided a decent life for our family. Mm-hmm. Now,
you have had some trainings along the way, though, certifications and such.
Yeah, yes.
Really, you just have to have drive. You have to be
willing to learn,
passionate, and you have to have drive.
Exactly, and that's the point that I want to make is that, I'm looking at the program for Jack's graduation, and they put the, this person, and this is the college that they're going to. This person, they're going to military, or this person, workforce. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yes, that all of those things are true, and they are going to, they're going to the workforce or whatever, but a lot of these kids, like the college or whatever was on the right side of their name, is just like a prolonging of the real life, the real world, and doing all the things. It's like, I get it. You have to have a certain education if your desire is to do this thing. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to discount that or make it seem like that I think that that's not a good path or anything like that. But I also want to make sure that people know that you don't look, you might want to be like, hey, I want to be a fucking welder. You can go and get, an apprenticeship or do any of these type of things and be a welder, and you can make fantastic money doing that. Mm-hmm. It wasn't acceptable 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. 20 years ago, if Jack said, well, I don't think I'm going to college, that was like, even for me, I said, I'm not going to college. And it's like, whoa, what do you do? What are you doing? That's unacceptable. And the reality is like, you know, you can work your way up in a company. The problem that I see in a lot of situations is these kids go to college, they spend 4 years, 6 years or whatever, and then all of a sudden they're like, all right, I'm ready for the workforce.
Mm-hmm. And they don't know how to be they don't know how to be an adult.
Well, they don't know how to be. They don't know how to be an adult in the real world, and they also have an expectation of like this amount of money.
Mm-hmm. Because they've got the degree, they think they got the position.
Yes, and then a lot of the times these jobs are just like, because again, I've interviewed people like this, and they're like, well, I have a degree and blah blah blah, and I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Right.
I don't care what you have a degree in.
Mm-hmm.
My question to you is, do you know how to deal with this situation?
My whole interview process is behavior-based questions. It is nothing about skill. It's nothing about what education. I mean, there's certain qualifications you have to even be considered for the position, because you do have to have the degree. But all of my interview questions when I'm interviewing for someone to potentially come work for us is all behavior-based questions. And it's give me an example of when you have done such and such. So you have to give me a specific example. I don't want generalities. I don't want you to just be like, well, usually I do this. I'm like, okay, well, give me a specific time that's happened for you, because I need a real story. And you can pretty much tell. And because I'm really looking for how you respond to situations, how you adjust yourself to, pivot in any kind of situation that you're approached.
Not to be confused with pivot.
Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to make sure that
was a Friends reference for those who don't know and aren't cool enough to know.
I want to make sure that I'm clear on, like, if you're going to college, that's fantastically fine.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what your goal is and all that kind of stuff. But you said here a second ago that, like, hey, I did all these things and then I decided to go to college because you had an adult brain and decided that you wanted to do that.
Well, and there was a lot of pressure. I mean, all of my friends were going straight to college. They had plans for their lives and they've all done really well. And I felt intimidated because I didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing, and it felt like I was the only one that didn't have it figured out. There's a lot of peer pressure that goes along with that too, and a lot of, social assumptions about people who, back when we were graduating from school 20 some odd years ago, that, if you don't go to college and you go to the workforce, that's looked down on a little bit, and I just didn't know I wasn't confident in any one pathway to say, yep, this is what I need to do. But
I just think that it doesn't need to be looked down upon to go into the workforce.
Well, no, because also you see, like, we went through a period of time where all kids were going to colleges and nobody was going to the trades. And then we had severe shortages of people that would take those trade jobs, and we were having to outsource them. Because there was like a whole culture shift of that. And now we're trying to shift back where we're bringing, because they took even a lot of trades out of school. They didn't teach the same things in school. When our parents were growing up, Mom would tell me how everyone had to go through auto mechanics, basic auto mechanics. The women, the men, everybody had to, as a bare minimum. Everybody had to go through a course of home economics. Everybody had to go through certain things. When we went through school, that was optional. You didn't have to. And so they were gearing you more towards those college courses, and these were optional. You still had the option to do that. They were still available. Introduction to welding, stuff like that was offered when we were in school, but it wasn't, but then, and you see people come out of high school, they don't know how to balance a checkbook, which nobody does that anymore, but they don't know how to change their own tires. They don't know how to change, a light bulb in their car or anything like that. Some of those basic things where you will be stranded without someone coming to your rescue if you don't know how to do some of those things yourself. And there's been a shift in the way that kids are taught some of those things, and it's all how they're gearing people to go more of the college route, and now they're trying to bring some of that back in now with the mechatronics program at the high school now, they're bringing some of those trades back into the schools so that they're kind of balancing it back out. So it's not just like parents and their children, it's also the school system.
And the culture.
It's the culture. Yeah, it's a big problem.
Kimmy, I have more respect for you right now than I think that I've ever had.
Oh my gosh.
Because I didn't think that you thought that much into things.
Oh my what are you kidding? You don't give me any credit. You give me no credit whatsoever.
Yeah, you get zero credit. But I think that, you know, for the kids going, I don't know, I just feel bad like yesterday or the couple days ago when I saw Jack and then Workforce, like I personally felt like, well, that's disappointing.
But why?
Not.
I mean, I don't really think that it's disappointing.
But also, why do they have to label what the kids are doing after school?
I don't agree with
I
labeling
agree
that.
with celebrating those who have elected to join the military straight out of school.
Yes.
I agree with the way that they did the scholarships this year, the recognition for scholarships, where they just had people stand up in a group and it wasn't like calling out the individuals. Because like I was telling you guys, you know, back when we were in school, they did the top 10, but they said this person got number 1, this person got number 8, and they read out your percentage.
Yeah, but they're a bunch of fucking crybabies now.
Right. So now you can't make anybody feel bad. And so we're just going to, this is your top 10%, and they all stand up together, which is fine. If that's how you want to do it. I feel like people need to have a little bit more, you know, competition in them, but you know, I guess it's not really that important. Either way, they're just doing things differently now. And they used to call out, celebrate each individual who got so much in scholarships and blah, blah, blah. And I never really agreed with that. And this year they just said, this class has, you know, earned such and such amount in scholarships. And if you fit in this group, then please stand. And then we celebrated the group, which is fine. I definitely agree that we should celebrate anyone who has that passion and that drive, just like Eli did, that they want to join the military, you know, straight up. If like good for, we need them. That's amazing. That's an incredible gift to our country, and they should be celebrated. But I don't feel like we need to label each child. This one's going to college. This one's going to workforce, because they may eventually go to college, and if they don't, big deal. They're going to be successful in whatever path they choose. But I don't think it should be labeled next to their names. It should be, this is how they've graduated, these are the honors that they've graduated with, and just leave it at that.
I'm actually really proud of Jack because, one, I think it was amazing that Hayden and Eli both knew all through high school exactly what they wanted to do. It's exactly what they were passionate about. They both went head on into those things. And I think that's not really normal to be that clear that young.
Yeah.
And they were. But what I'm really proud about with Jack is that he was aware and wise enough to say, I don't know, so I'm not making a decision.
I love
I'm
that.
going to wait. And he's got some ideas, and I think that's fantastic. But I think it was wise that he is like, you know what, I'm going to get right to work, and I'll figure it out.
And that's strong of him, too.
It's
a strong person that can say, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna take time to figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna feel out my options. That takes a strong person to say that.
Yeah, well,
Stronger than your husband, but
right.
well, we can say stronger than me or whatever else, but the thing that I worried about is because with Eli, when he graduated, and I said this on another podcast before, that he was saying, hey, I want to go to the Army right now. And I told him, hey, and we'll just, hang it. Because I didn't want, for me personally,
selfishly,
my selfish self saying, I don't want you to go do this because it's not what I wanted to do.
Well,
we also had fear about sending our kid off.
Absolutely.
Well, and at
it's
the
still your baby.
Yeah.
and at the time, there's a lot of things that are going on. Of course, there's always things going on. But what I learned from that situation is, like, I didn't want Eli to go, and I didn't want him to do that. And so he, got some kind of bullshit 9-to-5 job that he did, and and I'll never forget it. He texted me. He's like, "Can I go to the Army now?" And I was like, it hit me in so many different ways. It hit me in the sense that like he was respecting me as his father to say, hey, can I go do this now? But also like
he gave you the time you needed
yeah, it's like he's
to
like,
get adjusted to the idea.
Yep, that's what it was.
hey, I want to go do this. But I think about that situation, and so that's why like when
But he also gave you the respect too that, okay, maybe you're right. Maybe I have this idea and maybe I should think on it a little bit longer just to make sure I understand the commitment I'm making.
well, that's what I wanted more than anything
Yeah.
is to make sure that he understood that, because as a parent, it's like you think that like, well, my kids are, you don't want to think that you don't think that your kids are dumb. That you just think that like, well, they're not thinking it through all the way.
Right.
Because they're young.
Right.
Because they're young and they're, if you hear any random noises, that's the graduation party happening, because I hear it a lot in my headphones.
I hear it.
I think it'll cut it out whenever we
It's
edit
fine.
it. But anyway, so Eli's doing this, and so on so many different levels, I'll never forget that text that he sent me and talking about that, because like how it hit me in so many different ways. And so when I look at Hayden and I look at Jack, it's like, okay, I don't want to insert any of my opinion into any of this, because they're kids. Yes, they're kids. We can give them our advice or give them any kind of, like our opinion of direction, but I don't want to influence my kids to like do something because I want to do it or not. And some of the fear that I have with Jack is that he's like, well, I'm just going to get a job like my dad did and build myself up through a company, blah, 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 and do all the things. And I'm like, okay, that happened to work out good for me. Just like I never suggest people get married young because like, yes, it worked out for me and Nikki, but does it really work out with the mass majority? Usually not. And so like, I always like, tiptoe around these situations to where like I want to encourage Jack. So what I landed on with him coming and working, full time at LSI with me, not me. I'll never see him, but it's like just work it through the summer, see if you like it. And part of the reason that I don't really mind it is because he's 18 and he can't even drive for the company till he's 21. So that means he's going to have to do bitch work for at least 3 years.
She'll do him good.
Which is good because, like, to me, that if he likes it, he can build himself up and be like, look, man, I had the experience, and he can build himself up the way that I've been able to build myself up. But I'm not trying to assume that, like, he's going to like landscaping.
Yeah.
Because, to be honest with you, I'm 43 years old. And I was talking about this with Johnny up there earlier. I don't fucking know what I want to do with my life. I'm 43 years old. These kids are 18. I'm 43. And I'm like, I don't know. I've just kind of fallen into like what I'm doing.
Well, and you worry that he's going to fall into something and it's just going to be what he falls into. But I think also you need to give him some credit that he's looked up to you enough to say, I'm okay with falling into something and working my way up because I've seen my dad do it.
Yes.
So that's okay.
Well, that's what I was going to say is that he is doing that. And so there's this whole side piece of like, I'm involved because he's looking up to me. But a lot of that happens to be like, how are you going to like, if you have good work ethic and if you're able to do all of these things and to put in the time and do all of it, which I think that he has, because I was saying this in a podcast before that like a lot of kids come in and they're like, all right, I'm going to do the bitch job and I'm going to do it for about 3 weeks, a month, a year, 2 years. Where the fuck's my better job? Look, that's not how this works, especially if you don't have an education, a college education, and you don't have any this kind of stuff, it's like you have to put in the time to be able to go in there and be awesome and prove to somebody that like, hey, I'm a leader, or I want to, you know, shoot for this job. Because if you notice on job descriptions now, it's usually like, you know, bachelor's degree or associates or whatever it happens to be, or equivalent, or, you know, 4 years experience or 10 years experience, you know, whatever it might be, because there's a lot of people out there that are so qualified, overqualified to do this job, and they don't have a degree.
Right.
I mean, even for me, like, I don't have a degree in shit. I have a degree in hard knocks. It's like, but it's like, I know through my life experiences of doing these particular things, it's just getting to the, it's getting to the same ending, but just in different ways. It's like, yes, you can have an education and maybe get there. You're going to have like some, you know, a little bit of hard time getting to it, or you're, you know, just doing the grunt work and getting to it, and you're taking, you know, it's a harder route.
And people figure things out at different times. It could take people years to figure out what they really want to do. I was out of school, like, I don't know, 10 years before I went back to college. And it took me a long time. And it was like some kind of a spiritual moment that showed me what I was supposed to do. But, you know, you never know when you're going to figure that out. And the other thing, I had to learn this hard lesson as I was raising the girls, is they have to have the opportunities to make their own decisions and make mistakes, because you can't protect them from all their mistakes.
Yes.
You can't prepare them for everything. You hope that you've done a good enough job and you've asked all the right questions, that maybe they're starting to ask those questions themselves because they've heard you in their head enough. But they have to be able to make those decisions and fall on their face a couple of times and learn to pick themselves back up. You can't be there for them, for all of them, and you can't stop them from making those mistakes. Otherwise, they're going to have a harder time adjusting to real life.
Yeah, I think when your kids get older into adulthood, your role as a parent shifts and you become more of like a life coach.
Yeah.
You're there for support and you're there for encouragement. But the decisions are all theirs.
Absolutely.
Until they're 18, you have a hand in their decisions. But yeah.
Yeah, and
you become life coaches.
Yeah, and I've
after they're 18.
had to shift to just asking questions out of curiosity to see if they've asked those questions themselves. And, you know, if they haven't, then, you know, they'll figure it out.
Well, if they haven't, then when you ask those questions, it stirs things in their brains that they haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah.
It's part of their developmental process. You know, you're helping them think about the things they're thinking about.
Yep.
Well, it's been hard for me because, like, I haven't had that life coach type situation. I've had my dad there up until recently, like, telling me, play it safe, play it safe, play it safe. And so, like, my mind wants to, that was the whole thing with Eli. It's like, he wanted to go to the Army, and then my protective nature of him being my son, I was like, well, I want you to play it safe. I don't want you to go put yourself in a fucked up situation. Remember that, like, when he went into the Army, it was like war things going on. There's always war going on and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, play it safe, play it safe. And even my dad told me, play it safe, play it safe. You know, it's like he went into the military and he did these things and he played it safe and he got a job and he was able to support us. We didn't live an extravagant life or anything like that, but he played it safe. And that's what he told me. And I'll never forget. He always said, third man, third row, which means, you know, for all of you listeners and viewers out there, that means like, basically the motherfucker that's going to be there in the middle, that's not going to be noticed and any of that kind of stuff. He used to tell Eli, third man, third row, third man, third row. But like,
which basically means blend in.
Blend in, don't stir up any shit, do the thing. But like, no, you need to be first motherfucker, first row, fucking stirring
Well, I
shit
was gonna
up.
say that's not Eli. Eli's not third man, third
I
row.
was gonna say the first picture we saw of him from basic training
Yeah.
was this whole bleacher filled with
Oh,
military
yeah.
people, and they're all sitting there very straight faced for this
And
picture they were
Eli is
taking.
cheesing.
And he's cheesing, grinning, and like
He's like-
waving. There's
He's like, this is what I was made for. This is.
And he just shined out of that group of
Oh,
soldiers.
that's a
He
classic-
just
that's a
shined.
classic
I love
picture.
That picture of
It's like
Eli.
third man, third row is like, yes, that is. Yes, in some situations, if you just want to get by, but that's like I'm having to understand all of that because I know that third man, third row is just a thing that people say and that you just heard or.
It was falling and going to Colleen. It like went down and over.
It went like straight over.
It's like third man, third row is like this whole mentality of like, saying and doing these things, just kind of being on the sidelines and not, causing any trouble, not doing any of these things. But like, I don't want myself to live like that. I don't want the kids to live like that because like you can't make a change and I'm not saying like, oh, we're going to make a change in the world. And like, I'm just talking about for you personally. It's like, you can't make a change in anything that's going on if you're just, but that's how my dad lived. And so I'm trying to wash myself from that because like I've lived my life by that. My brothers have lived their life by that all the way up until Nathan passed away. He lived his life by that of like third man, third row, just.
Well, guess what? I think you're making some progress because you started a podcast and you're putting yourself literally out there, first man, first row.
No, that's fucking stupid.
No, but seriously, think about it. This is not a third man, third row project.
That's true.
So this is signs of growth and progress, dear.
Well, it might be signs of growth and progress, but not. I mean, listen. I'm to the age and to the point where it doesn't matter for me. I have my career and what I'm doing, and I'm gonna retire with what I'm doing. But what I don't want is I don't want to pass this on to the kids. I want them to be able to not be third man, third row.
I think there's evidence that you have not passed this on to the kids because they are actively doing things that are not third man, third row.
They are shining stars.
They are.
Hayden's putting himself out there on incredible levels, doing all kinds of crazy things. Eli is the epitome of first man, first row. I mean, putting himself on the front lines.
That's true, but I don't want to be. I don't want to fall victim to generational sin, generational generational mindsets and things like that because like I have a bunch of them. I have all of my family's like hurt and pain and sin and all of these things like built into me that I don't want to pass to them. And so to rewind all of this back to Jack and graduating, it's like I think about all of these things. And so like I don't want to pressure Jack into like, oh, you need to go to college and you need to go do these things. And then like I'm looked at from this group of people like, hey, you're a fucking asshole because you need to tell your son needs to go to college. Well, no, fuck you. My son doesn't need to go to college. He needs to do what he wants to do because the reality is all that financial burden is going to fall on me if Jack says, I want to go to college. And then he gets a semester, 2 semesters in, and he's like, well, fuck this, which he's already doesn't want to do any of it. And so the parents like take that financial burden of all of that kind of stuff, which I don't mind taking like if Jack says, I want to be an accountant, back to where we started. And he's like, there's nothing I love more
The numbers.
than numbers and being
Love
in a fucking
numbers.
account. I just
Numbers are
want to,
fun.
I just want to be in a fucking accountant. You know what? Take my money. I will pay for Jack to be an accountant. But that's the reality of it all is like these kids are 17, 18 years old. They don't know what they want to do.
Yeah.
It's like they don't know what they want to be. we got a pool full of kids out here, and probably their parents are pressuring them to do whatever, and they don't really fucking know what they want to do. I mean, Zephyr, bless her heart, she's probably like, well, I'm pretty sure she's like, I want to be a nurse. I want to take care of people. I want to do things. Good on you. That's good. Spend your money on that. But with Jack, when he's just like, oh, I don't know. Hey, there's money involved here.
Yeah.
Let's take a step back. What do you think, James? You hadn't talked much.
When Hayden started racking up student loan debt in his school in New York, we made an agreement with him going into it. And because like he had one loan that he took out in his name, but there was a max amount a student could take out, and then you have to do the Parent Plus loan where the parent takes out money to supplement in order to make ends meet. And so I had a conversation with Hayden on the front end, and I said, you know what, we will take this loan out in my name, but when you start working, you will be paying this. And ever since he started working, he's been paying the student loan that's in my name and the student loan in his name. Poor guy spends about $400 or $500 a month in student loans, which is insane.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit.
But he does it.
To put that on a kid that has no money, he's fucking working at a bar.
Well, if you want us to
It's an
take
investment.
that payment back, we can.
No, I'm just saying that, like, I'm just saying in general, it's like these kids want to do these things, and God bless him, Hayden graduated from college. That's great. But, like, they have the burden of this thousands of dollars.
Yeah, the debt is insane.
And
The debt is insane. How much it costs is insane. But also, if they want it bad enough, then they are going to bust their ass and make sure that they handle their responsibilities, which includes the loans that they took out.
And he's handling it, and he's paying for it, and he's doing all the things. But I don't know.
Yes.
I mean, is he? He's having to work these jobs that he's doing because it's fucking arts. All of this
It's
kind of
so
stuff.
hard.
It's just.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead, Jeems.
But if anybody's going to do it, Hayden's going to do it, and he's doing it.
Yeah, and he
He's
will.
finding a way to make it happen, and that's what he's always done his whole life.
Okay, so let's change subjects because
Yes, please, because we've already talked about this on
we
another
talked about-
podcast.
and you're really talking a whole lot. It's really mine and Nikki's turn.
This is our podcast.
This is our turn.
And Colleen's podcast.
Well, honestly,
talk about-
hold on a second.
Oh.
Honestly, I want Colleen's opinion on all of this because she's got two kids that she got through
College.
college. You got through college, both of them.
Oh, yeah. They both went to college.
But she's being a creeper over there.
And I know Issa's doing fantastic. He's in architecture in Knoxville.
But
Yes, but the difference in my kids
hey,
is that
roll on up here.
Come on, Colleen.
Ro-
Throw this on.
the
Hold-
difference is that I
roll on up here.
Just get close to the mic.
to
You don't have to have the headphones. Just come up to the mic. Roll on up to the mic.
The difference is that I actually had my job provided tuition reimbursement. So
Oh, that's awesome.
Come on up.
The kids' tuition was completely taken care of between mine and their dad's job. So it made it easier for them to make a decision to go to college and actually do something. So I think, and I always said that was my reason for going to my job, and this was their opportunity. So take the opportunity while you have it, because not everybody gets it.
That's right.
So I am very grateful that they both took the opportunity to do that.
Well, the thing is that like at least I don't. Did Kyra have all that too?
Yeah.
Did she get so? But I mean, like they've gone through it and they did all the things and they're using it.
Kyra she's not using her degree in psychology, but I'm sure her degree is helping her with her.
You can use psychology
Or
for
employment.
any employment
Right.
you're in. It's very helpful.
Well, it's funny because I'm sitting here like thrashing college and all of these things, and Colleen's sitting here, but I'm really not thrashing college.
And your wife is in college right now.
I know that's true,
That was my mother's thing, was school.
Yeah.
but I'm trying to give the opposite the alternative
I think you're trying to highlight that there's more than one option.
Yes.
You don't have to just go to college.
But I do think that it's more acceptable now than it was even 10, 20 years ago when we were in high school or in college and doing all that. It's like it's more acceptable now to not do that. Because, again, all of these things are in my mind as I'm looking at the page of Jack with all these little... the extra
symbols by his name.
Yeah.
all the symbols of all these great things that he's done in high school, which is funny because like I didn't fucking know. It's like I'm just happy that he was.
You didn't know he was
passing.
earning all that stuff.
He was passing. I'm like, you doing good in school? I can show you.
And you're like, oh, you did do good in school.
I'm just like, because look, we went through the reamer with Eli.
Yeah.
And it was like and God bless him. And I'm not talking shit about Eli by no means. He went in there and he did what he was supposed to do, and he graduated, and he is doing what his dream was.
Yeah.
And I held him back from it.
You did for a whole year.
I know. I was the piece of shit.
Kimmy.
I was the piece of shit in it all.
Yeah. Selfish piece of shit, actually.
And when
To be accurate.
that's true. He wanted to do all of these things, and I held him back from it.
Out of your own fear.
Yes, you're exactly right.
I know.
It's like
You're welcome.
All jokes aside, it's like by my own fear, I did not want him to do any of the. That's why, like when, honestly, and we talked about this before in another pod, as the kids would call it. It's not a podcast.
As Tim Hollis calls it.
It's a pod. I talked about in other ones that I was less. Like Hayden went to New York when he was 17. And it's like
That would scare the shit out of me.
it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But I relinquished control in the situation because I knew that I fucked up with Eli. I should have let him go. And the reality is like it's not like it ruined anybody's life and nobody got hurt or anything like that. But like as a parent, I stifled like what he wanted to do and what he was here for. And I talked to Chris Cavey on another podcast. He's a veteran Marine that's just like, he's a fucking natural born killer. And I'm not saying that Eli's like a natural born killer, but you want people that go into the military that like want to be there.
Yeah.
Not just like,
Not the people that are like, this is all the only option I had.
they're like, well, this is the only option I have and I'll
Yeah.
get some money to do this.
Yeah.
No, Eli's ready to go in and fucking just fuck shit up if he needs to.
Yeah.
And that's how Chris was too.
And what's so beautiful about Eli is because you could see that in him as he was getting older, because when you ask him what he wanted for like Christmas or his birthday, he wanted survival gear. He wanted stuff he could use out in the wilderness, like just
For his 13th birthday, all he requested was rope
yeah. I know.
to go out in the woods,
Yeah.
swing from trees, or do whatever he needed to
Yeah.
do. So we got him rope for his 13th birthday.
But that's what's funny and awful for me as a parent, as I'm like exposing myself here. It's like I feel bad about the fact that like he knew what he wanted to do, and I'm just like, you're young and you're dumb. You don't know what you want. Let me tell you what you want. And then so that
I don't think you're alone. I think a lot of parents do that though, out of fear, out of love. You worry, you care, you want to make sure that they're safe and that they're making good choices and that they're not, you know.
Well, there's that, and there's the like my dad in the back of my head is like, you just need to play it safe. You don't need to fuck with any of these things that are out there. And what Eli wanted to do was like out there, and so I learned my lesson with that. And so then when Hayden graduated a year early and he wanted to go to New York to pursue his acting career or his directing and writing and all that, I was like, abso-fucking-lutely not.
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, you need to shut your fucking mouth and go with the flow of things, because like this is, you know, like I know that I messed up with Eli. I don't want to make it too dramatic. It wasn't like I messed up with Eli. I made some wrong steps there, and I misunderstood. I misinterpreted the fact that Eli respected me so much to be like, hey, I'm not, you know, he's sitting there doing this bullshit, whatever he was doing. He was just like, God, I wish my dad would let me go to the Army.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I didn't know that I had that control and that power. You know, I was just like, hey, you just need to hang out, not do this. So I learned my lesson with all that. And so with Hayden, I was like, I absolutely don't like this, but okay, I need to relinquish control and allow him to do that. And so he did that, and everything's fine. There's all the things that happen, and everything's fine. But now here we are, and we're talking about like Jack and all that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, I don't want to mess up the Eli situation, and I don't want to be like the Hayden situation. And Jack's kind of like, I'm going to find a job and, you know, build my way up in my career and all this kind of stuff. And so in my mind, I'm like, I don't want him to follow in my footsteps because I don't know that that's the right thing. Just like I tell people all the time, I'm like,
Well, you know what? It's not your choice. He's going to do what he's going to do.
I know, but like me and Nikki got married early, and I would never tell people to do that because like we knew each other for like 6 months and then we got married. And so like so I'm like, it worked out fine for us, but like, is that the norm? And so like, it's just, for me, it's a matter of like relinquishing control and being like, trust your kids to do all of the things. And what do you think, Jeems? I don't know.
I think it's time to move on to another topic.
Didn't we already say that
We
one?
did. Some people don't listen.
But it's fresh on his heart. I get it.
I know.
because
it is
that
fresh.
program
I
and,
get
and
it.
everything.
You know what? Fuck up, but all of you. Fuck all of you.
Hey, we're here to support you, babe.
No, you're not supporting shit. All you're doing is like, I'm sitting here trying to
You're
talk.
pouring your heart out, crying like a baby.
And we're telling
trying
you to shut up.
I ain't pouring shit out. I'm fucking trying to tell you how it is.
You're crying like a big baby.
What do you want to fucking talk about then, Kimmy? Talk to me. What do you want to
Talk
talk about?
about me and Nikki.
You want to talk about my
Yeah.
beard again?
No, I'm done with
That's
that. It's
overplayed.
Old news. Old news.
That is overplayed.
It's old news.
All right. Well, okay. Go at it, girls. Y'all think you can carry it? Let's do it.
Well, I'm just going to start this off by saying Kimmy gets like a really bad rep for being like the bitch of the family.
She is a fucking bitch.
But you know what?
I do.
It's kind of like this fun role that we like put on her. But
No.
honestly, I just need to put it out there publicly to all 17
Oh, don't be
followers.
nice. Don't be sappy.
You can look away if you need to. For all 17 followers here, 97. Actually, it's 97.
There's not. Well, on YouTube, there's 97.
Oh,
Okay, thank you to the followers.
Thank
I just
you.
want to say thank you to the followers.
For supporting my husband and his
My husband's hobby, while I'm busy pursuing things, I appreciate you keeping him busy. Anyways, what I'm going to say though is Kimmy gets a bad rap for being awful.
She is awful.
But
Colleen knows that
tell
she's
you,
awful.
You all have heard Kimmy say some very wise things here.
No,
I'm
she's
very
not.
wisdomous.
She's
No,
very wisdomous.
No.
But let me just say, she is very loving and very kind. I'm going to say this fast because
Do it
we got to
fast.
get over the sappy
Blech.
really fast because she's going to puke.
Yeah.
She's fucking
But
awful.
look, no, my sister is awesome. She pisses me off a lot. I will say that.
I do.
But I still have wild amounts of respect for her, and she challenges me. Unlike most people on the planet don't challenge me, and I need challenge in my life. So, anyways, she's better than my husband says she is. But
That's
I
true.
still
That is
enjoy
so
my
true.
husband telling her she's awful, just like I enjoy her telling him he's awful.
Look, she
It's entertainment for me.
James, Kimmy thinks that she can come in here
Well, she can.
at the graduation party. She does her hair a little bit, puts on a nice shirt,
You're welcome.
She looks amazing.
You're welcome.
and thinks that she can not be a bitch.
No, I
She can be.
I can.
It's her
Very
right.
easily, if you would like. It's very quick to turn on.
No, you're you're awful through and through. And bless her heart, Colleen's over here having to deal with you, knowing that you're
No,
awful.
first of all, let me just tell you, nobody has to deal with me. Nobody has to be anywhere dealing with anything. If you choose to be in my presence, this is what you get.
and it's awful. And
This is it.
And yet he continues to choose to put you on his
does. He
podcast
does.
and hang out with you.
no, I really don't
likes
want.
it.
I don't really don't want even want you to be here.
I don't force anyone to be in my presence.
To be honest with you, I was hoping to get you out of here and get Colleen in here, but she's
By all means.
easy there, champ. Easy, champ.
Why did he? I thought this was our podcast.
I
Why
thought
does
it
he
was
keep
ours
talking?
too. I don't know.
Why does he keep talking?
He can't stand to let go of the spotlight.
I know, but the
Such a
spotlight-
diva.
The spotlight looks
He's
better
such
on
a
us.
diva.
I'm such a diva. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard since like nobody likes me and I've got like 17 followers and
Oh, Colleen, will you hand me the tissues?
He's crying again.
all right. Well,
Hey, man.
what else y'all want to talk about?
Too easy. That was low hanging fruit.
And you say, look it. We're such a good pair.
We're amazing.
Yeah, I know. That's why I had to be careful with her because she's come in here to talk shit about me the same
Well,
as you do.
Kimmy brings it out in me.
I don't want to.
She's a great influence.
I don't want to taint my reputable, my spot in the community here as an influencer. I don't know if you know this, but I'm an
You're
influencer
an influencer. On your pod.
on my pod. All right. Well, what else y'all want to talk about? If nothing else, we'll wrap it up.
I think we need to wrap it up because
yeah.
we got our points up across very clearly. Kimmy and I are awesome.
We are. We're basically everyone's favorite.
We are everyone's favorites, right, Colleen? We're your favorites? Correct. Exactly.
You have
See?
T-shirts to prove it.
I need a t-shirt.
You need a T-shirt.
have a t-shirt.
I have a T-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole
I need-
family has t-shirts with Kimmy's face on them,
Yes.
shaped in a heart that says
Saying number one
favorite. Yeah.
You're welcome. Everyone's welcome.
We'll wrap
I
it
need
up.
to bring those back out though.
I need a
But-
t-shirt.
I
I'm going
am.
to get everybody's socks with my face on them. Go ahead.
I don't have anything.
He's done with us. He's done.
He's
I was just gonna say that I'm proud of Jack. I'm
Yeah.
proud of him
Proud of all the graduates.
graduating
Yes, we're proud of them.
from.
Proud of us. Proud of you guys. You got through the chapter.
I'm proud of Tim for putting up with you and me together on a podcast.
I know.
We
We should do it again.
Yes.
We're not done with this.
No.
You guys are the worst. It's like I can't even say anything.
Let's go.
I love
Let's
you,
do it
babe.
again.
I hate you both. I hate you both.
Everyone's
Goodbye.
welcome.